I want to touch on something real quick before we start the video. About 4 weeks ago, I made a video called Google Data Used to Arrest Innocent People. Since then, it seems that none of my videos have really broken 8,000 views, and that's kind of odd because I was doing really well. So I don't know if I fell out of the YouTube algorithm or if I'm being pushed out of the algorithm, but I need y'all to do me a big favor. When you do watch my videos, be sure to hit that like button because that's what keeps me up in the algorithm, keeps my videos being viewed, and helps me out just a little bit. So if you could do that, it would be greatly appreciated. Next, I want to go ahead. I've got a lot of comments lately about security and anonymity in Linux. Well, I've done some videos in the past, so what we're going to do is we're going to revisit a couple of those and a couple of the greatest distributions that you can use if you want security and anonymity. That's what we'll be doing today on eBuzz Central. Before we start the video today, I just want to remind everybody, whether you're a supporter of the channel or a viewer of the channel, to zip on over to my Patreon page. You don't have to be a patron to take a look at this, but if you scroll down when you go to the page, there is a video down here called 10,000 Subscribers, Patrons Only. That is an awesome video. You need to watch it. I'm doing something really special for all of you that support me and for those of you who could become supporters in the future. So if you get a chance, when you get done watching this video, zip on over there. Like I said, scroll down to where it says 10,000 subscribers, and that's the video you want to watch. And while I have you all, I want to tell you thank you so much for helping me reach 10,000 subscribers. Never thought I would be here. You guys have done so much for this channel, and I look forward to continually providing content that you like and welcoming new viewers to my channel. Once again, thank you guys so much for helping me reach 10,000 subscribers. You really don't know what it means to me. So now let's get to the video. Today we're taking a look at Kodachi, based on Ubuntu and Debian with the XFCE desktop environment. This is probably one of my favorite distros I've ever looked at before, for the simple fact of all the security features it comes packed with, but at the same time, you can use it as a daily driver. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at their website. So let's go over there real quick. That's digi77.com/Linux-Kodachi. I will put that link in the description below. And basically it just lets you know that Kodachi is an operating system based on long-term support Ubuntu. Now I do have people say, it's 18.04, that's an older kernel, but it's stable. What they're looking at here is long-term support. I have heard that when the next LTS comes out, they will update to it, so you should be good to go. It comes with secure, anti-forensic, and anonymous operating system. You are constantly on a VPN. All connections to the internet are forced to go through the VPN, then the Tor network with DNS encryption. I have done some web surfing on here. It doesn't seem to affect it all that much. It is a tiny bit slower, but if you like your security and you like your privacy, this is definitely an operating system to take a look at. It leaves no trace on the computer you're using unless you ask it explicitly. It uses state-of-the-art cryptographic and privacy tools to encrypt your files, emails, and instant messaging. And then if you scroll down to the bottom, it's got achievements, how to use, hints, security models. You can come over here and read all the security models if you want to set that up for best anonymous results or for best security results. Nuke. I really like Nuke. This is very interesting. Kodachi Nuke is a self-destructing Luke's partition you can use only if Kodachi is installed and encrypted. Simply what it does is it will encrypt Kodachi with its own keys, so you will have two passwords. The one you entered during Kodachi encrypted installation and the new Nuke password you will have to enter after running the Nuke script. You will continue to use your first Kodachi password, but once you're forced to open the system, all you have to do is enter the Nuke password and system will be completely destroyed. There's no way to decrypt it, even with your first password. So basically with Nuke password, you are commanding Kodachi to kill itself by destroying the encryption headers. Basically what this does is gives you the power. If you want to nuke your system, you can. I don't need to do that, but there are some people out there that might have to. So that's a feature that not many Linux distributions have. Installation, you can do legacy or UEFI. Same thing for flash memory. Same thing for main PC hard drive. Then you can scroll down and it's got a couple frequently asked questions. And it shows you a comparison between Kodachi and Tails. Everything that Kodachi has that Tails doesn't. I know a lot of people talk about Cubes OS. I'm not just here to talk to you about this being a nice, secure, and private operating system. I want to show you that it's also pretty awesome as a daily driver. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and close out of the web browser real quick. And if you download Kodachi, throw it on a USB, put it into a virtual machine and open it up, this is the screen you're met with. And there's a lot going on right here. As you can tell over here, you've got your conky, you've got your CPU usage at present. I've got it issued 2 CPUs. It's using about 28% is what I see up there. Memory, I'm sitting at rest at 752 megabytes of the 3 gigs that I have issued to it. And then over here, it gives you your privacy and security. It shows that you're online. It shows that your ISP provider is the United States. But at present, your VPN is putting you through the Netherlands. And then you can come down here, and the Tor network is running you through Romania. And then you have some other information down here, security score, swap encrypted. And then you can go up to system. It covers files and processes. Then it shows you that we're running 5.15.1. So this is the new kernel. I think right now 5.14 is the stable. 5.15 is in release candidate mode. Traffic. It shows you how much traffic you've got going upload, download, then your cards, and then open ports down here. And then you do have a little cheat sheet over here that lets you know that your VPN is being used, how much CPU, memory, swap, disks, and of course you can lock the system or power it off. I do love the background. I think that is really impressive. I just like the look that it gives you. You do have a dock on the bottom. And you do have a panel to the left. If we go over to the panel, you've got date and time, sound, English for the keyboard, clipboard, notifications, and internet. And then you do have some things that are pinned to the panel. Right here, if you click on that, you've got Torified Shell, Tilix, Terminator, and Root Terminator. You can come over here and basically open a terminal. Let's see if they have HTOP installed. And they do. So right now, it's letting you know we're running about 880 megabytes of the 3 gigs that we have issued to the system. And then it shows you all the processes that are running in the background. And I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. And down here, you've also got Kodachi Lite Browser, Clipboard, then your home folder for Kodachi. Then you can arrange desktop icons, minimize all windows, and show desktop. And that's pretty much it on the panel. Now, if you come over to the dock, first thing you have on the dock is the Kodachi dashboard. Let's go ahead and open that up. It has open. Let's go ahead and maximize it. And as you can see right here, you've got system information, lets you know about the CPU, OS boot, shows that it's legacy and it is a live boot. Then you got your IP information, network information, remote information, and then down here, you can connect to the Tor client side VPN if you want to. Right now, we are presently on the Kodachi VPN with Tor server side. And then you've got Mulvad, HideMe, Nord, Proton, RiseUp. And then over here, VPN kill switch, VPN force traffic. You can go down here and block traffic on a VPN downrange, block traffic on IP/port change. So you got a lot of ways to customize this. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of the Kodachi dashboard. Next thing we're going to look at is browsers. You do have Kodachi Lite Browser, which is just a quick browser. You can get on, do some searches. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And it's popped up. And if you look over here, you've got some things pre-installed. You got IP location lookup, MiCai password manager and authenticator, web RTC, and that is disabled at present. Then you've got uBlock Origin already installed. And then you can come over here, and if you wanted to do a search, let's try eBuzz Central. There it is. It brings up eBuzz Central right here. Shows you where it's getting its results from. This is from Bing, and it looks like it's pulling mostly from Bing on here. But at the same time, you're not getting the page full of pictures, and you're not getting the page full of advertisements. So that's pretty impressive. So it loads up quick. You can do your searching. I just showed you that. And I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. And if you come back down to those browsers, we were just in Kodachi Lite. You've got Kodachi Loaded, Tor browser, Kodachi GAX browser, Tor, Kodachi browser with proxy chains. Then you've got the Tor browser, Sphere Tor browser, Firefox, the unsafe that doesn't have all the protections, and then you can edit GAX config and edit proxy chains config. So that's just your browsers. Now, if you come back down, we're going to open up security apps. You've got Session Manager, Element, Demon Saw, Tox, Pigeon Internet, Zulu Crypt, Zero Crypt, Tor Circuits, Onion Share, Zulu Mount, Siri Kali, Exit Cleaner, File Tools, OpenSnitch, BleachBit, and BleachBit as root. And then if you come back down, you've got security services. You can start syncing, start GNUnet, start I2P, start SSH, deny host. There's so many things you can do in here. And then we're going to go down to other apps. You've got My Monero Wallet, Electrum Wallet, FileZilla, Thunar File Manager. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. And as you can see right out of the box, you have your file system, and then you go to Kodachi, and it shows everything. Shows your regular folders, shows your hidden files. This is like a wide open file manager here. So if you're not used to dealing with something that has the hidden files shown, just know that ahead of time. I love the theme of it. I love that it fits right in with the overall dark look that Kodachi has. And it is Thunar. What version of Thunar? It is Thunar 1.6.15, so it's a newer version. And it's just a quick, light file manager that lets you get your work done and stays out of your way. So let's go ahead and close out of that. Then you've got Thunar as root, and you got Nautilus File Manager. So you have two different file managers. So if you don't like Thunar, you can use Nautilus. And if you don't like Nautilus, you can use Thunar. So that's Nautilus. Let's go ahead and close back out of that. Gmerlin Player, GRSync, Catfish, Double Commander, Shutter, Simple Screen Recorder, Terminator, Transmission for your BitTorrent client, LibreOffice Suite out of the box. You've got Notes, Gnote, Genie, Application Finder. And what do we got over here? System Apps, Task Manager, HTOP we've already looked at. Let's open up Settings Manager. And there's your Settings Manager. Let's maximize that. You've got Appearance. Let's go ahead and click on Appearance. Right now you're using the Minty Dark. You could go up and use Adwaita, High Contrast. I like this theme right here, so I'm just going to stick with that. You can adjust your icons. You can adjust fonts. I do think the fonts are a little small, so if I go over here, and let's say I wanted to bump that up to 11, just click on 11, click OK. And as you can see, everything got a little bigger. And then, of course, your standard settings. So let's go ahead and close out of that. Software Updater, Software and Updates. Let's see what we got here. Okay, this is just where you put your PPAs in and shows you all the repositories that you're getting your updates from. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. Let's go back down, and that says Software Updater. So we do have Synaptic. Let's open that up. So you got Synaptic Package Manager to install apps and software. And if you're familiar with any of my videos, you know that I've gone over Synaptic several times. You've got different categories right here you can choose from. Everything from communication all the way down to World Wide Web, word processing, video software. You've got section, status, origin, custom filters, search results, architecture. So, if you want to look up something specific, you'd click search, type in an application you're looking for, something like OBS, hit enter. And as you can see, OBS is moved over here into the highlighted. And if you come to the right, there's OBS Studio right there. So you would just click on that, mark for installation, and it'll give you a list of dependencies that OBS needs to be installed. You would mark all of those as well, and it's ready to install. But let's say you wanted to install something else at the same time. So let's do a search. Let's go Kdenlive. And as you can see, Kdenlive is highlighted over here now, and there is Kdenlive. So you would click on it, mark for installation. It'll show you all of the dependencies that it needs to be installed. Mark all of those. Once you've got those selected, all you got to do is click apply, and it would install OBS and Kdenlive on your system. Synaptic Package Manager, you can't go wrong with it. Still one of my favorite ways to install software and applications. So let's close out of that. Back down to System Apps, you have GW Package Installer. If there's something that you can't find in Synaptic, but you can download the deb package online, just download it. Once it goes into the downloads, you right-click on it, and it says Open With GW Package Installer, and it'll install it on your system. You've got Gparted, Disk Analyzer, Home Usage, Redshift, Virtual Keyboard, Time and Date, Light Locker Settings, Start Disk Creator, Luminosity, System Monitor, and then down here you've got your extra tools, Enable OS System Nuke, that's what we were just talking about on their website, Disable System OS Nuke, Encrypt SafeBox, Decrypt SafeBox, Panic Repair and Restore, License Information and Donate, and then down here you have Show Desktop. So guys, let me just tell you something. This is a good looking operating system. It's safe, it's secure, it's encrypted, it doesn't use a lot of resources. That was Kodachi Linux, a great operating system, definitely safe, secure, and a way to stay anonymous if you want to. The next one we're going to cover is Septor OS. Now this one is a little different. It's not as packed with the tools that you saw in Kodachi, but it gives you the ability to have complete anonymity while you're on the web or while you're just using the operating system. So let's take a look at it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to zip on over to Septor's website, which is septor.sourceforge.io. And it's a pretty straightforward and plain website. Just says Septor, Debian, KDE Plasma, and Tor Technologies. It does come with the Tor browser. We are looking at Septor 2021.5, which was released in November, so it's their most recent release. And it just states it's an operating system that provides users with a perfect computing environment for surfing the internet anonymously. Provides users with a stable, reliable distribution based on Debian with KDE Plasma Desktop. And then you've got Linux kernel 5.10, Plasma 5.20.5. Software management is Synaptic and DebiTool. Internet, you're going to have Tor browser, Thunderbird, and base utilities. Then it's got some screenshots. Then you can look at the release notes. And then if you go back up top, you've got About, you've got screenshots, you've got Download, and you've got Wiki. With it being based on stable Debian, should you have any problems, you shouldn't have any issue going over to the Debian forums and getting your questions answered. That is their website. And as you can see over here, we've got the Onion network. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Then I'm going to reopen it so you can see the Tor browser and what you're going to expect when you first open the application up. It's going to ask you connect to Tor. If you always want to connect, you just click here and go ahead and say connect, and then it'll start connecting. If you're not familiar with Tor, basically it relays you through 3 or 4 different pass-through points so that your IP address cannot be traced and you can surf the internet anonymously. And it opens up with DuckDuckGo as your base search engine, and then privacy is a human right, and then you can make donations to the Tor project. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. And then if you download Septor OS, put it on a USB, open it up in a virtual machine, this is the screen you're going to be met with. It's a very beautiful background. I'm going to go ahead and right-click and go ahead and configure desktop, and let's look at some other backgrounds. Let's zip this over, and as you can see, with it being based on Debian, you're going to have some other Debian-focused wallpapers, and you've got a few to choose from, and most of them are Debian. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the wallpaper that it came with out of the box up. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. If you come down to the bottom, you have one panel. Over on the right side of the panel, you've got date and time. Should you want to adjust that, just right-click, go up to adjust date and time. When it opens, you can come over here. You can set your time zone wherever you want. I'm going to pick something like Dallas. That's not listed, so let's try Chicago. There's Chicago. Let's go ahead and pick it, apply, and then go back over to date and time and go over here and set date and time automatically. Go ahead and make sure that's highlighted. Click apply, and your time should change to the right time. So let's go ahead and close out of that. Right next to it, you've got your hidden applications, which is your notifications, K-Organizer, and KDE Connect. If you're not familiar with KDE Connect, if you own an Apple or Android phone, zip on over to your respective store, download the KDE Connect app on your phone, then you can sync it to either your PC or your desktop. So let's go ahead and close out of that. Sound, internet, keyboard layout, most recent device, battery remaining, and then of course your weather widget. And then right next to it is your 4 desktops. You can switch through those just by clicking, or you can scroll through them with the scroll wheel on your mouse. Now, should you want to make adjustments to this panel, just right-click on the panel, click on Edit Panel, and it gives you a lot of options here. To the right, you've got more options. You can align the panel to the left, center, or the right. And then, of course, visibility. You can make it always visible, auto-hide. Windows can cover it, or Windows can go below it. So let's go ahead and close out of that. And then if you move over to the left, you can change the panel height. If you want to make the panel a little bigger, you can. And then you can adjust screen edge. We're not going to mess with that. And then, of course, if you want to add widgets either to your desktop or your panel, you just click on Add Widgets, and those will populate over to the left, and you can scroll through these widgets and pick the ones you like, put them either on your panel or on your desktop. Now, if you look through here and don't see the widget that you want, just go up here and click on Get New Widgets, and then you can download new Plasma widgets, and then over here it'll give you the most downloaded, newest, highest rated, advanced radio player, translator. So you can scroll through here and find literally thousands of different widgets that you can put on your system. So let's go ahead and close out of that and close out of that. If you come over to the left, you'll notice that there's nothing pinned on the panel. Of course, you can go up here, and if you wanted to look up something like the Tor browser, right-click, pin it to Task Manager, you'd have it pinned, and then you could just come down here, click on it, and of course, it would open up. It's that simple. So let's close out of that. Now, if you wanted to change this menu, some people like this menu, some don't. All you have to do is come down here to the Septor logo, right-click, Show Alternatives, You got the application launcher or the application menu. So let's go ahead and just click on the application menu and switch. And then when you open it up, you have an application menu that's a little easier to get around. You just go to graphics and it tells you everything that you have. You go to internet, multimedia, office, and it makes things a lot more simple. But that comes down to preference. If you want something different or if you want to keep it the way it is out of the box, that's completely up to you. That's the freedom of Linux. So let's go ahead and open this up. You come up here, you got the Tor browser we've already seen. System settings we'll take a look at in a second. And then, of course, your file manager. And those of you that are familiar with KDE or familiar with Dolphin, it's a very good-looking file manager. And it's lightweight, stays out of your way, and lets you get things done. Over here, you've got your usual suspects. As always, if there's items over here that are listed that you don't want, all you have to do is pick that item, right-click, hide selection, and it'll go away. You can do that for however many you want to hide. And then it gives you a little bit more room over here. If you want to make these bigger, just right-click in this area, go to icon size, let's bump that up to large, and then they're a little easier to see. I do like the icons that Septor is using out of the box. They're different, they're fresh. I just like it. They're not colorful and round or square, they just give you a different look. So that is pretty much Dolphin File Manager. Let's go ahead and close out of that. And if you want to, go ahead and open this up. Go up to Dolphin, right-click on it, pin it to Task Manager, and then you've got it down here on your bar. Then you've got Kate, which is your text editor. Then you have Console, which is your terminal. Let's go ahead and pin that as well. There it is pinned. Let's go ahead and open that up. And if you look right up here, what I'm going to do real quick is see if they have HTOP installed. They do not. Let's see if they have top. And they do. At present, I have 3 gigabytes of RAM issued to this machine. We are using 1 gigabyte at rest. But you do have to take into account that we are running this in a virtual machine, so you're going to have some of the operating system running in the RAM. So when you do download it, if you decide to install it, once it's installed, you will probably be sitting somewhere between 600 and 800 megabytes of RAM being used at rest, which I would say is mid-weight. Definitely not the highest I've seen, but definitely not the lowest either. Now, let's go ahead and close out of that. And I want to go ahead and close window. And then I want to reopen that. And I want to see if they give us NeoFetch out of the box. And they do give us NeoFetch. It just basically states you're on kernel 5.10.0.0-9, which is the stable Debian kernel. Bash is 5.1.4. Plasma 5.20.5, that's an older version of Plasma, but it is stable. And then the theme is Septor 2 Plasma, icons, Olifold Plasma, console terminal, AMD Ryzen 5, and we're in VirtualBox. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. Come back up, go over to the left, you've got your system monitor. Let's go ahead and take a peek at that. System monitor is a lot like your task manager that you have on Windows. It's got your process table and then, of course, your system load. Right here, I've got 2 CPUs issued to this machine. At present, we're using just under 10% of those. On the memory, like I said, we've got issued 3 gigabytes, and we're using just a hair under a gig. And then, of course, your network history. And then you can minimize this back down if you wanted to go to your process table. Then you can come over and see what processes you have running. And then if there's some that are in there running that you don't need running, you can kill them. Or you can adjust your startup programs to make sure that no programs are running at boot up that don't need to be. So let's close out of that. Then you've got your file manager as root. And then, of course, Synaptic Package Manager. Let's take a peek at it. Okay, it's opened up. Let's go ahead and close that out. I'm going to go ahead and maximize this. And over here, you've got categories. You can do anything from amateur radio all the way down to videos, video software, web servers, word processing, World Wide Web. Then you've got sections, status, origin, custom filters, search results, and architecture. So I'm going to go back to sections. Now, if there's just a specific program you want to look up, come over here to the search button. Let's look up something like OBS Studio. And as you can see, this over here gets highlighted, and then there's OBS Studio. If you wanted to install it, just click the box next to it. Mark for installation. It will bring up a list of dependencies that are required to install it. You can mark all of those. Once they are marked, all you got to do is click Apply, and then you would have OBS Studio installed on your system. Now, another thing I want to go over, if there's more than one program you want to install, let's go over here and let's look up Kdenlive. There's Kdenlive. You can go ahead and select it, mark for installation. There's its dependencies. You go ahead and mark it. And now you have OBS marked for installation and Kdenlive. You can go through here, pick all the software that you want to install. Once you have it all selected, click Apply, and it would install them all at once. And as you go, if you come down here to the lower left, it'll say 2 packages, 2,098 installed, 0 broken, 26 to install or upgrade, 0 to remove, and 144 megabytes will be used. So to install OBS and Kdenlive, you're going to be using about 144 megabytes. So that's how you install software onto the Septor OS. Let's go ahead and close out of that. Come back down over here. You've got Thunderbird for your mail and VLC. Let's go ahead and take a look at system settings real quick. I'm going to go through these very quickly because I've covered these in previous videos, but I just want you to see that right now you've got Breeze, Breeze Dark, or you got the Septor. If you wanted to go to a dark mode, you could go ahead and switch it to Breeze and click Apply. And now you've got a dark mode up here. Makes things a little easier to see, especially if you're old like me and have to wear glasses. But you can change those. If there's nothing up here that you like, you can go down here to get new global theme. And what it'll do is it'll load these up and you can show everything, show most recent first, or you could go with highest rated, which is what I generally do because it brings the best rated ones up first. Scroll through, find something you like, select it, install, and then you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. Then you can do that with plasma style, application style, colors, fonts. If you want to change your font, you just come over here to adjust all fonts. Click on it. You can change your font type, font style, and font size. Just for an example, let's go ahead and bump the font size up to 12. I've selected 12, so let's go ahead and click OK, and then Apply. And as you can see, the font size changed across the operating system. So let's go ahead and go back. And then you can change and make adjustments and customize everything from workspace behavior, window management, startup and shutdown, notifications, users, accessibility. There are literally thousands of ways to customize KDE. So I'm not going to go in depth on that. And then, of course, your system information that breaks down what we saw in NeoFetch, tells you what version of KDE and what kernel you're using. So let's go ahead and close out of that. And then you come back down to the applications. We'll kind of scroll through these. On graphics, you've got GIMP, LibreOffice Draw, Spectacle, which is your screenshot tool, Internet, HexChat, Thunderbird for your mail, multimedia, you got Alyssa, Pulse Audio, Volume Control, VLC. Office, you have the LibreOffice suite out of the box, Science and Math, Settings, Synaptic Package Manager, System, KDE Partition Manager, KSysGuard. You get a lot of tools out of the box. And then your Debi tool. If you download a Deb package offline and you need to install it, you can do that with the Debi tool. And then your utilities, ISO Image Writer, Cleopatra, Keynotes, Help, Power Session, Power Shutdown, Turn Off, everything you need there. That's just a quick look at Septor OS. If you enjoyed today's video, you can become a member right here on YouTube. Become a patron to the channel over on Patreon, buy us a coffee, or throw us a donation on PayPal. I would also like to thank today's video sponsors, producer Mislav Krlesa, Mitchell Valentino, VIP sponsors Matthew Gower, Antoine Wilk, all access sponsors are Eugene Lee, Leonard McQueen, Mike DePaulis, and sponsors and members Nitrix, Cato Gosted, Chad Jones, and Keith Hefner. If you liked today's video, here's a couple more for you to take a look at. I generally cover Linux and open source. Sometimes I might do a little Windows bashing. Once again, thank you for watching my video, and I will see you in the next video.